A lot of self-improvement advice starts with the same instruction. Decide who you want to become. Become disciplined. Become confident. Become someone who follows through. But there is a problem. Your mind may not believe the new identity simply because you declared it. If years of experience tell you, "I always quit," repeating, "I am consistent," may create more internal resistance than confidence. The new statement has almost no evidence behind it. The old one has a history. That is why identity change often becomes frustrating. You are trying to replace a conclusion before changing the data that created it. A more credible approach is almost the opposite. Do not begin by asking, "Who should I become?" Ask, "What evidence does my current identity keep using?" Maybe the label is, "I am bad at boundaries." What evidence supports it? You agreed when you wanted to say no. You answered immediately. You over-explained. You changed your decision after someone seemed disappointed. Those behaviors became data. Repeated often enough, they began to support the conclusion, "That is who I am." Now imagine that tomorrow you do something slightly different. Someone asks for your time. Instead of immediately saying yes, you say, "Let me check and get back to you." That action does not suddenly prove that you are great at boundaries. It does something more useful. It creates evidence that the old conclusion cannot fully explain. Or maybe you believe, "I only work well under pressure." The old evidence may be strong. You have waited until deadlines many times. You have produced good work in emergencies. You may genuinely have learned to associate urgency with focus. Now you begin one task for 15 minutes before the pressure arrives. Again, that does not prove, "I am now an extremely disciplined person." It simply introduces a new fact. You were able to begin without crisis. And that matters because identity is not only built from what you say about yourself, it is also built from what you repeatedly observe yourself doing. This is why dramatic reinvention is often less useful than small behavioral contradictions. A declaration asks you to believe something. An action gives you something to evaluate. And the goal is not to immediately replace, "I am inconsistent" with, "I am consistent." A more accurate conclusion might be, "I have been inconsistent in several situations, but I am beginning to see contexts in which I can respond differently." That sentence is less exciting, but it is more credible. And credibility matters when you are trying to revise a model of yourself. There is another important part of this. Do not turn one successful action into another rigid identity. One direct conversation does not mean you are now a confident person. One completed task does not mean procrastination is solved. One boundary does not erase years of difficulty. New evidence should make the model more accurate, not simply more positive. That is the difference between revision and reinvention. Revision asks, what does the evidence actually support now? Maybe the answer is not, "I am a completely different person." Maybe it is, "The old prediction is less certain than I thought." That is enough, because once certainty weakens, more behavior becomes available. You can test again, collect more data, notice more exceptions, and gradually build a self-concept that reflects your current behavior instead of only your past. So if you are trying to change something about yourself, do not begin with a new label. Choose one old prediction, then give it one honest piece of evidence it did not expect. You do not need a new identity by tomorrow. You need a more accurate model. And in the next part of this living library route, we will look at something even more subtle. Why does your mind notice the evidence that supports an old identity while quietly dismissing the evidence that contradicts it? Be prosperous from the inside out.